So let's examine what makes this work. He's got a really decent headline. It's pretty simple, simple steps, persuasive writing that works. Two major things in a blog matter. When search engines, as Patrick was talking about earlier, the search engine tool, SEO, all in one. Google cares about three things on a blog. That's it. The rest of it is content, it'll get archived. But what it really cares about is your title and your headline tags, your subline that go in the post that look something like this, those little subheads. Those are called in WordPress an H1 or a header 1. Anyone know what header 1 means? Have any idea what that means? Raise your hand. Okay. 2 people. Might be something useful to know. H1 is a header. It's a subhead like this. It makes your work more readable, right? So Google archives this. A lot of people just randomly bold out things and just call it H1. Well, it's gonna make this searchable. So if you were to type in subheadings into Google, this post would probably come up because she used subheadings like 3 times in there, which goes into the #1 most important thing when you're writing blogs. You have to write in a way that's helpful, but here's the trick. You also have to use keywords because you're getting searched in search engines. What keywords you use should flow through your post, flow through your headlines, and often they'll be in your content. And when you do that, say you're a copy blogger, say you're an expert at writing web copy, you're going to have a lot of stuff on subheads and headlining and formatting that people are going to search for, and they might find 10 posts from you that come up in a Google search. I'd be pretty persuaded that that person knows what the hell he's talking about. It doesn't cost anything to do that. It doesn't cost anything. So within WordPress, I just wanted to show you guys. So if anyone, raise your hand again if you're actually using WordPress now. Okay. So within WordPress, all of this is controlled in one place. Your title is pretty self-explanatory. And you guys are all aware there's a button right here that gives you a whole other level of navigation. This button is called Kitchen Sink. And yes, that's exactly what it means. Down here is your choice. We chose heading 1, which is chosen from there. Heading 2, heading 3, it goes on down. Simply by using these more effectively, you'll just, one, people have a clue what the hell you're talking about. It's usable. And you come up in searches. So we mentioned how important that is. So let's talk about you guys right here. For this right here, we have the keywords, the question, and relevance, right? Is it relevant to me? So, Maria, who's your target person, your target customer, your person who's coming to your site right now, they want to check out your site, who are they?
I have 2 different businesses.
On one site?
Sorry?
Do you have one website or 2 different websites?
Oh, no, okay, one.
Okay.
So who's my target customer?
Right.
Baby boomers.
Baby boomers.
People that travel at least 2 to 3 times a year.
So what's their #1 biggest problem when they come looking to your website?
What's the number 1 biggest problem?
That they're trying to solve looking on your website?
Well, they want just immediately be able to find what they need without having to go to several other sites.
See, Maria knows who she's talking to. Everybody here, when you know who you're talking to, blogging is really easy to get traffic on your site. And if you have focused traffic, more traffic equals more leads, and more leads equals more cash. It's really that simple. If you're talking to someone who needs your help, and you're writing blog posts, and most of the blog posts I write are quite simply questions my coaching clients or my students ask me all the time. If I get asked the question 4 or 5 times, I'll write a blog post about it and explain it. Here's the fun part. I don't have to write half the blog posts. I just do a search, find a blog post, someone else already answered the question, quote from it, write a blog post, takes me 5-10 minutes, post it. I'm coming up in searches too. People contact me all the time, ask for stuff like this. It's really a lot easier than it looks, but our ego likes to make us think it's a lot more complicated than it is, because then it will scare us out of actually doing anything, and that's really the best deal all around. We can just sit on our hands and not do anything. Blogging is cheap, easy, and fast with the focused market. If not, it's like every other piece of software you used. Time consuming. Okay, so if you don't write a blog post, there's a really, really simple way. So is anyone here familiar with Google PageRank? Okay, little tidbit of information. Page, the guy who invented it, Larry Page, that's what PageRank means. It's not web page. Isn't that the goofiest thing ever? I just heard that. No way. That's how big of a nerd I am. Really. So get this. Commenting. That blog post I just showed you. He wrote it. 2 minutes after he wrote it, the first person commented on it. So Google PageRank is done by two things, right? You have content, and then you have, or keywords, then you have the really big one. That's inbound links. You guys know what an inbound link is? A link from another website that links into your site. They're treated as votes. They're the same thing as votes. Each inbound link into your site is a vote saying, hey, you're pretty cool. The more inbound links you have, when someone types in your keywords, the higher you come up organically on Google. And organic meaning when you search on Google, you have all the paid stuff along the right. How many people ignore the stuff on the right? Raise your hand if you don't even look at that anymore. Because what is it?
Ads.
It's ads. It's sales, right? You look at the stuff down below. So if you want to spend your money and pay the stuff on the right, cool, just let yourself know that 80% of people won't see it or will ignore it. The stuff down below is free, it's more effective, and that's where most people click. And this is where blogging will bring it up. The big way to get inbound links? Commenting. Find a blog post. I mean, how many people read a cool blog post and say, wow, he totally answered my question, and then leave the page? Is that pretty common? How many comment? Raise here if you've commented on a blog in the past week. Past 2 weeks? Keep your hand up. 2 weeks. So we have like, by the way, give yourself all a big one of these because that is the easiest way to increase your page rank on your site. If you link back to your site and comment, it's really easy. How hard is it? Well, name, email, website, and you can comment. Here's the thing. When you do it effectively, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, you can use any type of marketing you want. And if you pick 2 of them and do it every day, it'll be successful. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's email. I don't care if it's blogging. I don't care if it's networking events. It'll be effective if you do it regularly. If you do blogging regularly and you're blogging to your target audience, you've already picked your, say, 20 keywords, and all the stuff you talk about are the keywords your clients ask you about, you will come up organically on Google page. You'll just come up in searches all the time when people talk about search for you. We come up with the craziest things. WordPress training, coach comic. I'm a comedian and I'm a coach. People type in coach comic. I get 400 people a month come to my site for that term. I have no idea what they do, but they come to my site and play around just because that seems to be in a lot of my content. I happen to come up for that. It's that simple. When you're actually focused on it, you come up. So there's a couple ways to actually make this stuff work. One is commenting. The other one, this is called Share This. This is a free plugin on WordPress. You put it in, and by the way, as Patrick mentioned, WordPress.com, WordPress.org. Easiest way to remember it, WordPress.com. Say one thing that offends the people on WordPress.com, your blog is deleted. Say one thing that breaks their terms and conditions, your blog is deleted. Take up too much room, they cut it off. Try to advertise or sell anything on WordPress.com, they take it off. WordPress.org is free. If it's on your server, you can advertise. You can put porn on it. You can put pictures on it. You can put movies on it. You can put plugins on it. It's yours. Your thing, your game, however you want it to be. Does that make sense? Pretty clear between WordPress.com? This is a plugin on WordPress.org. It's free. You plug it in, and this is on our site. With one click of a button, you can add it to Facebook, anything like that, any of these social networking. The other one, you can hit a button and email it to your friends. If you had really useful information that helped your people, and it took them a click to email a useful article, do you think any of your clients would email your articles around? Does anyone think that might be helpful at all? Having people emailing stuff around that you wrote